Hello and good evening, friends. This is Occult Priestess, the hostess with the mostest, OP for short. And you are listening and watching my channel. I would like to give a shout out to our good friend out there, Derple Hayes, chilling with his kitty cats on a Caturday night. How you doing out there, Derple? We appreciate you. We're sending you good energy. And we're over on the Rockfin chat. And we're saying hello to Patrick S. How are you doing out there tonight, Patrick? What is up with you on this Caturday night? Good to see you. So, I really wasn't going to stream this evening because lots of stuff has happened, right? But I figured I wouldn't want to miss you guys. So, I wanted to tell you what was going on in my life, full disclosure kind of thing, right? So there's no mystery about what's going on with the occult priestess. Why isn't she here? What is she doing? What's going on with her? Well, several things have happened. And so I did decide to stream, and I did decide to spend most of my day, 99% of my day, making a video for us this evening, which I often do, right? So, this video this evening that we're going to enjoy together, there'll be so much in it. My goodness. It's a culmination of what I've done over the past 2 weeks and new people that have come in to my professional life, new friends, acquaintances, and people to do live streams with, right? So I always love it when there's more people around that think like we do, right? Because we tend to think that we're going mad if there aren't others that are agreeing with at least some of our opinions. So I definitely found a new crowd in that way. So shout out to, well, the shout out is basically the entire video, right? And so what's happening in my life, if you've caught me in the past couple of months, you will know I got the news that my favorite person on the planet, my Aunt Pat, Patricia, had a stroke. And since then, she's had a few more. And it's not looking too good for her. And she really is like my favorite person from childhood. Magical, so magical. Of course, I'm the occult priestess. She's not some normal chick. She's very special to me. And the thing about her most was that she taught me how to love. She taught me about loving when I grew up in an abusive family. And so I could go to Aunt Pat's and Uncle Bob's and recognize what love was and see a normal life. And so she represents so much to me of what was good in my life. And now she's going to be going home, right? And I'm going to miss her terribly. When my mother passed in 2012, I knew she was going to pass a year before. I had visions, confirmation. I knew. I told her, and we could spend that time together, and we did. And I got all of that good love from my mom, and no unresolved issues or anything by the time that she passed. So I was at peace and kind of excited about her process because I got to see it. But this death in particular is messing with me big time. So I did decide to come on tonight. I'm actually going to, oh, thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate that. He says, sorry for your loss, OP. And that was my mother, Carol Wilson. She was freaking awesome, Carol with a K. So this is Aunt Pat, and I'm trying to raise some funds so I can get from South Carolina over to Ohio so that I can see my wonderful, magical Aunt Pat, and possibly for the last time. So you'll see that this is my donate to the Aunt Pat show, basically. And I'm taking PayPal donations only due to the nature of the beast. That's the only currency I can totally get a hold of and buy what I need to buy to get there to Ohio. So if you're feeling generous, if you understand what I'm going through, if you have a few dollars to throw my way, I certainly would appreciate that. And I'll bring that up a couple of times this evening due to the fact that people will come in and out of the stream while I'm playing the video. So I just wanted you to know. And that is PayPal innovative7 at yahoo.com. And if you've known me, I've been on YouTube over 15 years. I have never, ever done this. I have never asked like this for donations. So, I'm just saying it's not an every week kind of thing. And this is really special. I know you can hear the lilt in my voice, like my voice is shaking. And I know you can hear that. So there's no hiding how I'm feeling about it. But so the first two clips we have coming up here in the video this evening that I'm sharing with you that I hacked together today, spent my whole day hacking it together. The first two clips involve Micah Dank, and they're going to be funny. So I hope you bring your funny bone with you. And they're a little tasteless too. So it's just probably right up your alley. So let's enjoy. Let's start the video here. And also, I also forgot. I'm not on camera this evening because Murphy's Law. When one thing goes wrong, my back molar cracked. I woke up this morning with half a tooth where there used to be a whole tooth, and I'm really freaked out about it. I'm scared. But I've procured a situation where I can go to the dentist. So by next week, I'll be having that looked at. But, I'm just not in good shape, you guys. And this is why I am not on camera this evening. Emotionally, I'm almost always in a good mood. Just, if you squeeze me, if you squeeze an orange juice comes out. You squeeze me, love comes out. But I am under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. So here we go into the video.
The Mason guy, what's his name?
Manly P. Hall.
Manly P. Hall. Now, was he a hermaphrodite or is that
What?
That's a hermetic joke. That's hilarious.
Both worlds.
You mean, was he a hermeticist?
No, I saw a show. I saw a documentary, and the guy said that he was a hermaphrodite.
Both sexes at once, eh?
Yes, ma'am. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard.
Quick, are there any pictures of Manly P. Hall with facial hair? Go find them. But back then, when they did glamour shots, we have glamour shots, pictures of Manly where he's all airbrushed out.
Right.
But to me, he had very masculine features. I can usually tell because normally I'm looking for it. Is that a boy or a girl? So that's interesting. So, but he was a hermeticist, definitely.
Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah.
Anyway,
The question threw me off guard because we don't talk about hermaphrodites enough on my channel, honestly.
well, now that Mr.
Maybe we
Cooper's
should.
here, there you go.
We're
Also-
all mental hermaphrodites.
We are.
Right.
Right?
Well, I mean,
I have the documents, I think.
We have the documents.
I have the documents.
We're all hermaphrodites like the frogs.
Gay frogs. Inborn. No, but
You are transmitting on full frequency, mister.
Yes, I am.
I am Occult Priestess at occultpriestess.com. I've been a professional psychic for over 30 years now. So please come check me out at occultpriestess.com, my YouTube channel /occult priestess, Twitter at occult priestess, Twitch, where I play Sims 4 games.
Are you still setting it up?
Yeah, dude. I'm wondering. I'm thinking about doing a transition. Maybe I'll leave all of you and just go game and actually make money.
Someone sent me a screenshot of The Sims. I don't know if it was a mod that entered.
It was.
Do you know what I'm about to say?
I do. I saw it a year ago on on your Twitter. That one of the Sims had gotten a promotion,
and her boyfriend rewarded her by eating her ass, and it's a picture of the guy in her bare ass. Yeah.
And the name of the mod is Wicked Whims, and the name of the modder who made the mod is Turbo Driver.
I think I know. I heard it.
I know my
You
stuff.
actually reverse engineered that?
I don't know. I understood it when I saw it. And then all of a sudden I thought you played Sims. And so I got excited.
Did I hear that right? Was there a tossing of salad reference just now?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a graphic that Micah had the good taste to put on Twitter. I told you I'm prude.
I love it. No, I love it. I wanted to be sure I heard that. I'm like, okay, cool.
Priestess, do you know how hard I'm going to laugh later when I'm just thinking about how you said that you saw that picture of the Sim eating her ass, and you got excited because you thought I played Sims?
Yes, because that's exactly what you would probably do.
It is 8:42, and my wife just got a promotion, so I'm gonna have to talk to you guys.
He's gonna play Sims tonight, kids.
Oh, the salad thing. Okay, cross.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you. This is it's your show, Tom. It's our show. Introduce
Yeah,
yourself.
no. Hey, we have OP on today. This is super exciting. She's our first guest. I'm super excited. We're gonna talk a little magic and whatever else we talk about. Ha- I'm glad to have OP on today.
Me too. Me too. And that's Occult Priestess. And what is your real name, if you're willing to divulge that right now to our audience, which we're building right now?
Yes, I'm always suspicious of those who will not reveal their real names. So my name is Corinne Wilson, and Corinne is actually the ancient Greek, goes back to, it's French, but it goes back to the ancient Greek of Kore, Kore, and that is also a name for the goddess Persephone, who is Greek. So I have a lot in common with Persephone.
Nice.
Wow. Wow. And now, Tom, you have a similar thing, right?
What do you mean?
Well, moving on.
With the names.
Sorry.
Oh, there we are on Twitter. Yes, OP, definitely.
Okay. All right.
I
So,
think
Tom,
that's starting to get around.
what, me?
With-
No, the people calling
Oh, OP.
occult is OP.
Yeah.
you know
I
what,
think it's pretty
fellas?
cool.
It's better than princess. So many people mistake priestess for princess.
They call you
I
Princess?
can see that.
That was my nickname in college. No, I never went to college. But, so for our audience right now, you've been doing this for quite a long time, right? You've been not dabbling in, but your life's work. See, I'm already sounding like Chris Farley. Like no, anyway.
In a van down by the river.
I'm in a van down by the river. Yeah. So, what is your occupation for those that may not know on our end who's watching us right now?
Sure. I am a professional psychic of over 30 years, and I began practicing and playing with the tarot cards around age 14. And I used it like I was in school at the time. So I did my tarot lessons like it was homework. So I did it almost every day. And I got to the point where I felt confident enough to read for my mother and my friends, and those things started coming true. And then a pattern started to evolve in my life where my cards, which weren't just the cards, because I'm a very spiritual lady and I was praying to the gods and goddesses and working on a spiritual path, working on my soul with the cards as a tool. So
Wow.
there's many people that just pick up the cards, but I picked up everything, the gods, the goddesses, paganism, and our ancient past, and basically what our ancestors used to worship.
Now, you seem like you're in your 20s, by the way. No, I'm not even BSing or whatever. No, you do not seem like you've been at this for 30 years, but I don't know. Tom, you have a first question there? You were asking about white magic and black magic, and I just asked it for you.
How about paganism? I'm like, people really think pagans are evil. Well, and I don't understand, because most pagans are like into the earth and taking care of the earth, stuff like that. Yeah.
Sure. So they got it twisted, right? Back in the day, we used to, as villagers, we used to be afraid of the witches, the old hag, and the things that came and stole our children and ate them, and the fairies and the fetches and all the things, right?
You met my grandmother. Okay.
Yes, I met your grandmother. That is so sweet. So my mind, in many ways, because I'm multidimensional and I'm beyond time, see the
awesome.
correlations of what was happening then and what is happening now. And we are the villagers, right? And the kings and queens and the knights and all those people are the new world order. So I just kind of fit that into place, right? And so I do speak as if we are in ancient times, but it's just to awaken your remembrance because you do remember like I do. I just need to help wake you up from that hypnotism that we all come in under, if that makes sense. So
Absolutely.
paganism and tarot for me were basically the same thing. I was looking at all and learning all the symbology of my tarot cards, and there are 78 of them. And I did this, like I said, like 14, 15 as a study. And I'm an intelligent person, so I'm intellectual. And so I really went into it with my journal and everything and writing it down. It says, oh, I'm going to meet somebody on my birthday. Really? They're going to have money. Wow. That never happens. The emperor. I'm going to meet the emperor on my, 17th birthday.
I
And
never
so
do either. Yeah, I never
my
meet the emperor.
mother took me to an overage place, but she was my mom, so she got me in. I was 17, and I met a gentleman, and he was into politics, and he had money, and we were friends for years after that. He even slept with my best friend. What I began to find out was I didn't have to just lean on my intuition alone anymore, or prayers alone anymore. I had a tool to call the gods at any time and say, help. And that we all need tech support in
Yes.
life. And if you don't have time, energy, and the faith and devotion to learn the tarot yourself, then you can go to occultpriestess.com and get my ancient wisdom for a very small fee. I believe the tarot was refashioned
Oh, okay.
and rehashed by the OTO, which is Aleister Crowley, and also the Golden Dawn. They actually sent all of their people out in the Golden Dawn in the 1900s, early 1900s, and said, everybody make your own tarot deck. And that's basically what we got today.
Wow. Wow.
But
So-
they mixed up the symbolism in their tarot decks just to trick people. So you got to know.
All right. Wow. Okay.
And also about the bloodline discussion, I think
Yeah.
I know a lot about it psychically. Like I'm not in there researching like David Icke,
Right.
but I get the messages, and I'm related to Senator John Glenn. So my grandmother was his younger sister. And so that is
The
why I
astronaut.
understand the bloodlines in a deeper way.
Yeah, he was the astronaut, right? John Glenn?
Yes, he was.
Okay, okay. And then you go into NASA and all of that. That's a whole other.
Nazi NASA, an astro, not NOT. And the thing
Wow.
is, the thing about my great uncle, Senator John Glenn, is that he was adopted out of our family from an orphanage. And
Wow.
so my grandmother and him were both put in an orphanage. And then he was, I believe, sold
Oh,
because they had no money. And then after John left, they had enough money to take my grandma back.
right, right.
And that's weird because normally back then you would choose the boy and you would leave the girl. But the boy had an offer that he couldn't refuse.
That's a form of human trafficking.
It is.
Back in the day, they had what they would call the crazy house. It wasn't really a crazy house. They were housing kids there, and I forgot the name of the club it was called. I'll have to go back and look, but this wasn't part of the subject, so I'll have to go back and look. But anyway, yeah, they used to create psychopaths there, which would become politicians.
Thank
and
you.
I've heard
yes,
of that.
and stuff like that.
Nobody gets to be a politician by mistake or by grassroots. I believe
Yes, ma'am.
politics is a satanic system that you must be brought into, groomed through. And once you're
Absolutely.
there, everyone around you is an a-hole and you're an a-hole. And then there's this great separation between you and the regular people.
And that's
Yes,
where
ma'am.
skull and bones and things comes into play.
sir.
With that, right?
I believe that politicians are a very particular type of demon.
Oh,
You're not. I don't think you're far off. The zombie aspect. Yeah. Tom, your thoughts?
I have a question. My wife recently told me that when she was a child, that when she would sleep, she would levitate, and she just recently told me this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, she's told me some other stuff that's happened. Like she was having an operation one time, and she said she could see herself laying down. They were overdosing her with the anesthesia,
Oh,
and she could see what was going on in the room, and she could taste the anesthesia, and she knew that they were trying to kill her. And somehow she came back to and yelled at her dad, "Get me out of here!" And
Right.
so her dad got her out. So she's had stuff like that. I've also had sleep paralysis before. And I used to have an imaginary friend. I've talked to you, OP, about this before. So, but the levitation, what do you think that's?
Well, I've heard it before, so I do know. But also, your wife seems to be a targeted individual of the shadow realm. And also, if you've had sleep paralysis, you may also be a targeted individual. And that might be part of the reason why you find simpatico with your wife. So the other,
Wow.
why is she levitating? Well, obviously, in a past life, she got training. Okay. So in a past life, she was a spiritual person that sought training, that got training. And her soul has a huge guardian, a very freaking serious guardian that can take her out of anesthesia. Because she would have died. She literally would have died, but her guardian soul was there to save her ass completely, like 100%. Without the other world, without metaphysical, she wouldn't be here today. And she already agrees with that. I can feel it. She knows that already. But yeah, what I would suggest is her, if she's not meditating, to learn the meditation, to meditate, just to clear the mind. And then she could have visions also, because if she's targeted, there's a reason.
I think she's had them before. She just doesn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean?
Of course. And most people just throw it out of the brain immediately.
Right. Huh. That's very interesting.
I've heard that before. I've heard especially in my childhood, I've heard other children say that they had those experiences. So
I've never levitated, but that sounds wild.
Yeah, no, I was always a fat guy, so I don't know if the physics would have worked.
I don't know if this had anything to do with it, but her mom did acid before she was born. So
So the thing is what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did her mother have to take acid to have enough pineal juice to be able to give birth to this special baby? Pineal juice, your
I never
psychic
thought
juice,
about it
your
like that.
pineal gland. So the mom probably needed to kickstart so that it could put more of the pineal juice in the baby. Makes sense. So your wife is big psychic, obviously. Then you may be dreaming while you're awake. So think about that. So if you're very imaginative, your pineal is awake during the day, you're having visions, these kinds of things, you might not dream at night. If you smoke a lot of weed, you might dream during the day and you might not dream at night. But I do know Morpheus, and you can tell Morpheus, I told you to call him. Morpheus is the Greek god of dreams, and he can bless you if you are dedicated and say your prayers.
Now, do dream catchers work? Oh, sorry.
No,
What?
I was one of the last dreams I did remember. I probably don't want to, I don't want to go there again. So maybe it's better I don't dream at night. Does that make sense?
You. That's personal. It's a personal thing, but I could never shut out my dream world. Personally, earlier about when you first start to meditate or when you first start to get into paganism, they just think it's all evil. But if you put yourself in white light and you protect yourself, you'll be fine. No, the thing that happens is that when you start tapping at your subconscious in meditation and in prayer, and you're saying, I want to know my full self, you're going to get guardians at the gate. You're going to get fairies and imps that mess with you, that hide your keys. You're going to get messed with. And even in some sand cultures, which I don't know where this comes from, but they call Satan, is where the word Satan comes from, some Arabian something or other. And it's Satans, many little Satans, which are basically like evil fairies. Okay. So if we could just like go back a few root sections back to when we were Druids and Irish and Scottish and everything, then we can see not all the little creatures are evil or bad, but there are imps and they will mess with you. But if you have the wrong mindset, you're going to think that is Satan himself. And so that's why mindset is so important. And you must be like a child to even begin to understand the mysteries.
I have right here, it says, can magic make for a better sex life? I actually wrote it. Sorry. I'm a child.
The intent, though, what if it's like a positive intent, like does that matter?
Okay, question. Let's define some terms, shall we? What's Kundalini, Tom?
I'm not really sure.
So you're asking me a question that you couldn't possibly understand the answer to. Is that the truth?
Probably.
Shame on you, Tom.
No way, no shame, no shame, and then blaming that game.
Term? Where did you? No, I'm fucking around. Okay. No, Tom. Where did you hear that term from? Because I've heard that term before too.
Right. Why are you asking?
Well, is it like some type of meditation? The Kundalini part, anyway.
Okay, so first we'll just say what's Kundalini, right?
Yeah.
And Krishna Gopi. God damn it, Krishna Gopi Krishna. Thank you.
The Kundalini part, anyway.
Okay, so first we'll just say what's Kundalini, right?
Yeah.
And Krishna Gopi. God damn it, Krishna Gopi Krishna. Thank you, Gopi Krishna. actually is on YouTube from way back in the day talking about his awakening. And so, what you'll get from most Indian mystics will tell you.
Mr. Krishna, you have had a Kundalini experience. I wish you could explain what a Kundalini experience is and what its ramifications are.
I start to describe my own experience. Perhaps it would be better to give a little detail about what Kundalini means. We are not using the totality of the human brain. According to various estimates, most of us use only 10% of the brain, and according to some, only 8%. That means 90% of the brain is unutilized, and nature has provided it for certain purposes which are not yet known to science. According to the Indian tradition, there is a region in the brain below the crown and above the palate which is called Brahmarendra, or the cavity of Brahman. This region can be activated by certain disciplines, and when activated, it can give to the individual the same vision of the universe which all great mystics of the earth have described. When it is awakened, the normal energy of the body or the blood is not able to fuel the center. It needs a more powerful and concentrated psychic fuel. This fuel comes from the reproductive system, which is transformed into a kind of radiation, and that radiation awakens and makes the center to function.
Of evolution takes place. This development of evolution without conscious spiritual awareness is the reason for the present situation.
The human brain is evolving rapidly because from morning till evening we are applying our brain to some task. We are reading, we are looking through the newspapers, we are watching the television, we are reading some book, or we are working in the office. Most of the people are applying their brain throughout the day. This was not the case before. When people hunted or when they were tilling the soil, they had no need to apply their brain so concentratedly. We are now applying our brain in a very concentrated form from morning till night. In other words, we are concentrating. We are meditating, though on material objects. The result is a rapid state of evolution. With this rapid state of evolution, our way of life must change. But we have not changed it. On the other hand, we have made our living and our life more and more complex. The same is the case with nations. complex. The same is the case with nations and people. They have to change at every stage in their development. For instance, there were feudal systems. Before that, there were clans, tribes, or monarchy, but now we have democracy. So even the systems of our government are changing. Why? Because our brain is evolving. But when we stop living according to the laws of our evolution, we deteriorate and degenerate. This is also happening at present. It will be a spearhead of changes in the social and political system. It will be a spearhead of, for the first time, bringing to the notice of the race that there is a potential in every human being which is the most precious asset that he has and which can transform him into a mortal, into an immortal and eternal source of happiness.
Is this what evolution has meant for humanity's destiny? And it is.
So Kundalini, it's like the very, very first time you opened those peanuts and the snakes flew out. The very first time, and that shocked you. That's right. Kundalini. I actually have a video on it. I have a whole video series on Kundalini on YouTube. And that entire series is talking about my step-by-step process going through it. So if anyone is interested, just go to Cult Priestess YouTube and look up Kundalini and you'll see my like 9-part series. But I was introduced into heaven and beyond. Like my real life stopped. I stopped understanding that I needed to eat, that I needed sleep, that what's bathing? You mean I smoke cigarettes? What? You know, I forgot addictions and all kinds of things because I was literally like my soul and not a person at that time.
Explain the pineal gland for our viewers, because I'm not sure if most of them even know what that means or what it is. And the pituitary gland works together with the your third eye as well. Yes.
Does it?
I'm not sure how much they've tracked that, but you do want everything to be as optimal as possible for psychic work, especially your hormones. And I think pituitary is working with your hormones because your hormones create your moods. They create your moods. So if you're a Doritos and Pop-Tarts kind of guy, then your moods might be shit because your whore is moaning. Okay. Your body, you're treating it like a whore.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hormones. So I hope that sticks into someone's
We're learning
head.
great stuff right now, Chris. I did not know any of this. It makes absolute sense to me, though.
That my whore is moaning?
No, just what she was explaining to us.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, the third eye and the pineal and the yeah.
Okay, so your pineal gland, we always call it the third eye. I only started calling it the pineal gland when that Dippy book came out, DMT, the spirit molecule.
That's
you
right.
know, and he was paid by the government to make that book, by the way, kids. He's just brainwashing you.
I've heard that.
Rick Strassman. I have his book right back there.
Get Mad with Chris Graves.
There you go. But yeah, you got a caller from the West Coast on hold, so I'll get off the line.
Caller, welcome to the show.
Well, hello there, Mr. Chris Graves. Are you mad?
Oh yeah, I'm mad. I'm furious.
This is Occult Priestess, y'all.
How you doing? What's on your mind?
Do you remember me?
I do. We had a conspiring with Mr. Cooper over the weekend.
That's right. I've never done this. Like, I'm not a phone person, but here I am on my cell phone. So I don't know if I read the topic for this evening or if that was the last show, but it was talking about light fantasy and creativity and all that stuff, right? And you started talking about that, how you always wanted your own thing that you were making artistically, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I was having lunch with Freeman today, and he's bringing up something I haven't studied, which is the bill that sounds like if you're a conspiracy theorist, you're going to get arrested. And he said he'd rather change his career than get arrested. And I look up to him because, you know, he's a mentor. He's an authority figure in that sense.
Yeah.
So what do you think's going on with all that? I'm not familiar with the bill, if it is indeed a bill, and I would love to be educated on that if you don't mind. And then what's the future if we just all get arrested?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Restrict Act. Okay, well, there have been several proposals to add addendums to various speeches of the legislature over the past 10 years to try and transpose the idea of somebody being a conspiracy theorist into stuff that ties directly to the Patriot Act and, you know, sort of conflate them with domestic terrorists. And I don't know if you guys remember.
The NSA instead, right?
Oh, yeah, well, NSA, plus they wanted to add it to an NDAA at one point because the National Defense Authorization Act, you know, we get one every year. But the thing is that every year they try and sneak in these little extras, and that was one of them about 4 or 5 times in the past 10 years. The year I started my show, they dropped one of these first time, and it usually gets removed, excised from the bill at some point. But being that it's one of these things that is supposed to be supported by the you know, the alleged D's in the equation, just to try and own the libs, they might add it.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me now? I think I made a mistake earlier, and I believe I have rectified that mistake. So sound check, if you guys can hear me now. What I had said earlier, what I was expressing with Pandit Gopi Krishna, was that mystics and yogis can sound like conspiracy theorists because they're just telling us what's up. They have no agenda, no one to impress, really. They're just looking at the universal truth with their awakened mind. So there's that. Let's add this just for some music. And loud and clear. Thank you, Aaron Johnson. So yeah, I made a mistake, y'all. So sorry about that. And let me know if you heard the part about the Oreos, because I felt like that was pretty important. So let me know if that came through. Everything just kind of went kaplooey. I lost my YouTube, so it's just happening tonight. Murphy's Law. And that's what's going on there. So I thank you, everyone over on YouTube, for joining me this evening. I don't live stream here often, and so nobody knows when I'm just going to pop up, and there I am. But I'm usually here every Caturday night over on Rockfin, doing it live. And I've been doing a lot of shows lately, been a lot of places, and not even all the videos are up yet. So I hope you guys can look forward to those. I am going to take a bit of a break. I will not be working as hard or as often. And of course, I will be doing this trip to go see my favorite Aunt Pat, Patricia. She is a Gemini. Let's see here. Okay, good. She's a Gemini. And she was always she was an intellectual and a female in my family. That was unheard of. So she read a lot of books and she's really intelligent and loving. I mean, it was really love that made me love her back. But she had so many other redeeming qualities. I even remember when I was little, she used to turn on the TV in the morning, and there was a lady on there, some of you might remember, that did yoga. And so Aunt Pat, for years and years and years, did yoga every morning. And I got to watch that as, and I grew up and became Buddhist. So that's just so much fun. I want to thank you guys for joining me this evening. Please forgive me for not being on camera because of my cracked tooth. I really just want to chill and take care. And that's why this is a short one this evening. Let's see how long. Oh, well, I've been going an hour. That's cool. So I want to thank you, Aaron Johnson, from the bottom of my heart for contributing to my love fest for Aunt Pat. I totally appreciate that. And those to give in the future, please send me a note with your donation so that I may be able to send you some love back. I would truly appreciate just a little note so that I know it's okay to email you back and thank you personally. Maybe even throw in a tarot card. If you want one, let me know. So that's about it for me this evening, guys. I hope that you enjoyed all the clips and what we were doing over there. And here we know our friend Aaron's energy, who is so generous this evening, says, jumped on over here instead. Hello. So she's saying hello to the YouTube chat, which actually is integrated with the StreamYard I'm using tonight. I would put up Rockfin comments, but it's just not integrated yet. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I love you guys. I've been now live streaming for 2 years. I realized because it's April. So 2 years live streaming, and my life has changed so much. I'm no longer in California. I'm working with Freeman Fly, and I'm meeting such wonderful people. And I'm taking life as it comes. You know what I mean? So thank you so much. Hugs and kisses. This is Occult Priestess saying blessings and namaste. Happy Caturday.